What is going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing very well. I've been like transmogrified into something super cool, but this is going to fade in a few minutes. I want to talk about doing damage as an elemental shaman in the raid, and a lot of things to cover here. One of the big TLDRs of this video is going to be that the build that you're going to use for an Ele Shaman in raid is going to change depending on the fight, and there's a lot of changes. So what I would recommend actually is going to the new Subcreation site. I kind of hate what they've done with it. A lot of people are, I think, in a similar boat on this, but the point is, this is actually still a good resource for you. If you try to type in Subcreation, it's going to take you to the old site. You just have to take you to the new site, and then you need to click on DPS, click on raid, and then find Ele Shaman. They have it in C tier. It's not actually that bad. It's just, I don't know why they put it down here. It's just because of the survivability, I think. Then come over here and click on it. And then at the top, you can see all bosses, or you can individually click through each one. You need to individually click through each one because the build will change dramatically. For example, on Gnarlroot and Igira and Larodar, they all have lots of ads. So the build is kind of similar in the sense that it runs Ice Fury and Liquid Magma Totem. If you switch to more single-target fights like Nymue, Smolderon, Tindril, Farok, they get rid of the Liquid Magma Totem and they put a point into Elemental Equilibrium. Here's what's happening, though, at the bottom line. I'll link that site down below. Generally speaking, in every single build, you're going to focus on a couple of talents. Number one, Ice Fury is going to be in every single build, pretty much, except for maybe the very first one, Gnarlroot. If you want to pad damage on the ads, essentially, you can do that. But realistically, you should run Ice Fury in almost every build with Electrified Shocks. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you're going to run Primordial Surge instead of Splintered Elements. That's the big change there. So Primordial Surge, if you don't know, says when you cast Primordial Wave, Lava Surge will trigger immediately and then every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. So you get 4, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, you get 5 procs on Lava Surge in total. 1 right away, and then 4 over time. And then it increases the damage of Lava Burst, which is good. This is really important on single target fights because Splintered Elements gains value if you have more targets because you get more haste. This thing just gives you like 5 free procs on Lava Burst, which is really good because that helps you cool down Primordial Wave, and it just keeps the ball rolling on single target damage. This is really important for that. You want to keep your single target damage rolling as best you possibly can. So the reason you include Ice Fury is because most bosses don't have a lot of ads, right? They're mostly single target. This generates a lot of Maelstrom for you. 25 from Ice Fury, and then with Electrified Shocks, you're going to get your Frost Shocks doing a lot of extra damage. They're going to add the debuff, so your nature damage is going to go up, which is your Flame Shock does nature damage, and then Elemental Blast does nature damage. So you're going to get a lot of extra damage amp from that. Lightning Bolt does nature damage too. So you want to keep this debuff on the enemy for as long as possible. And then again, your Frost Shocks also generate 14 Maelstrom. So it's mostly for Maelstrom generation, but it also gives you the 15% damage buff as well. Okay? This is what the build looks like. You have Mountains Will Fall as well. You're going to get the extra chance to overload on your Elemental Blast when you cast them. And then another big one is Aftershock. This is the final piece that's going to change. Instead of having Surge of Power to help you spread Flame Shocks around, we don't need to worry about that anymore. We're just worrying about getting our really expensive Elemental Blast back. It costs 75 Maelstrom, so getting a refresh on it from Aftershock is massive. That is a huge damage boost. So you're going to see throughout the fights that I show you here, we get a lot of reset. So that's the build. That's the Subcreation site. Literally what I was doing on the fights is I would switch to, okay, we're doing Larodar. What do I need for Larodar? Click on Larodar, scroll down. These are the talents I need. I change 1 point of Elemental Equilibrium and put it over on Liquid Magma Totem. Okay, we killed Larodar. We're on to Smolderon. What do I need for Smolderon? I take the 1 point out of Liquid Magma Totem and put it back on Elemental Equilibrium, okay? The only real difference is going to be Council. Council is a 3-boss fight, which is perfect for Ele Shaman. Literally perfect. With the Primordial Wave that we have and the tier set bonus that gives us the extra Lava Bursts that go out after we cast Primordial Wave, this build is disgusting. You're going to do almost a regular Mythic Plus build where you have Magma Chamber again and Wind Speakers again and Splintered Elements for the extra haste. And then you're also going to get Ice Fury, Electrified Shocks, and they went with Primal Elementalist because you really don't need Liquid Magma Totem. The bosses are not usually stacked tight enough on the council fight for Liquid Magma Totem to get value. This is the only fight that is a little bit different, and it plays almost exactly how you're going to play a council fight. You're just getting as many lava bursts out as possible, and you're making sure to maintain your 3 flame shocks, 1 on each boss. That's going to give you crazy amounts of damage. I did it. I tried to find the VOD. I did it like a month ago, and it felt really, really good to do that fight. But I don't have her with me. So anyway, let's just look at a couple fights here. This is Larodar. So you can see me switching right now the Elemental Equilibrium over to Liquid Magma Totem. Okay, we're going to do a bunch of trash. Zoom through that. And then we're going to get to the boss fight. So again, the Liquid Magma Totem is basically here for when the ads spawn. This is what my talent tree looks like. I've got Ice Fury. I got Primordial Surge down here. And then Liquid Magma Totem. We got Mountains Will Fall, yada yada. So we go on pull here. And I'm holding my Liquid Magma Totem. Generally speaking, you want to start every fight with your Fire Elemental. Then I do 1 cast of Lava Burst with a Flame Shock at the end, because the Lava Burst won't hit till the Flame Shock gets there. Then Primordial Wave. And then remember, when you press Primordial Wave, you get 5 procs on Lava Surge. So what you want to do inside of Primordial Wave, when you press that button, you need to prioritize your Lava Burst as much as you can. Press Lava Burst over and over and over again. Even if you're capping on Maelstrom a little bit, it's better to press Lava Burst because you're cooling down Primordial Wave. Very, very important. You need to be doing that. If you were paying attention there, I completely whiffed my Liquid Magma Totem, so that was a disaster. But don't worry about it. Here comes the little roots that spawn, the Scorching Roots. I put another Flame Shock out. Now I have 2 Flame Shocks, very important if you get an Ascendance proc. Then I press Primordial Wave into that, and then I'm getting extra meatballs flying everywhere because I have the extra Flame Shock. You want to try and min-max as much as you can. Try and maximize the amount of Lava Bursts that you cast. You have to be very careful because unlike Mythic Plus where you're getting Lava Surge procs every second of the day, that does not happen in single target fights like this. So you have to be really careful. Again, when you get an Ascendance proc as well, please focus on pressing Lava Burst. Press Lava Burst when you get an Ascendance proc because again, you just want to cool down Primordial Wave. That's what it's all about. Here comes the intermission thing where we do take a bunch of damage. Here comes the second set of ads, and I actually am not going to whiff my Liquid Magma Totem this time. So Primordial Wave is also coming back. We're getting there. I get an Ascendance proc. This is really good. So here comes my Lava Burst. Now Primordial Wave is coming back right when the ads spawn. This is perfect timing. This is when you want Primordial Wave. So I Primordial Wave 1 of them. Then I Liquid Magma Totem, and it gets the other 2. Now I have 4 Flame Shocks out. I'm going to do crazy damage here. Watch the damage. I'm at 210k. Look at all the meatballs. I got an Ascendance proc at the same time. We went to 230k from 210k. So on this fight specifically, you are really looking to maximize Primordial Wave and Liquid Magma Totem together to get lots and lots of damage, okay? That's what you're trying to do. That's this entire fight. It's going to be over soon. That's the whole fight. So let's switch to another video. I tried to take a video of a whole bunch of these fights, almost all of them. Let me just find the next one. I think it's this one here. Let's just get rid of this. And we'll move this video over here. Right, so this is Gnarlroot. Once again, a very similar build. I didn't get to show anything because they just started the fight without even, like, waiting. So, typically, here you want, when the ads spawn, you want to do your Liquid Magma Totem into a Primordial Wave. That would be, like, ideal. On the LFR, they don't live long enough. But just understand, it's a very similar idea to Larry. You want to do Liquid Magma Totem on the ads, blow the ads up, try to get a Primordial Wave in there if you can, but don't hold Primordial Wave for too long. It's completely useless to do that. So, yeah, this fight's pretty simple. During the intermission, we get a bunch of extra damage. Here comes that Doom Cultivation. You're going to have to do the branches, and then this is the intermission that starts right here. I got an Ascendance proc right away, which is pretty insane. Again, maximize your Lava Burst casts when you get an Ascendance proc or a Primordial Wave. Press Lava Burst because you want to cool down Primordial Wave. That's all that matters. All that matters there. Our damage here is okay. Could have been better. Yada, yada. Not a big deal. Okay, Gnarlroot. Let's go to Igira. This fight also requires you to have your Liquid Magma Totem. So I actually took Liquid Magma Totem and 1 point into Totemic Recall. That is not what the Subcreation build is going to give you. If you look at Igira, You can see they do. Oh no, they do actually have Call the Elements. Never mind, I'm completely lying. So they changed their class tree as well. So on Igira, take Liquid Magma Totem, and whenever you take Liquid Magma Totem in the raid, you're gonna probably also want to take Totemic Recall, okay? Because you want to get it back. So on this fight, you are essentially casting Liquid Magma Totem when the roots go down, right? Try your best to cast it when the roots go down. I cast Primordial Wave on pull. You should do the same thing. Do not hold it. It's not worth it. You need to get your damage going. Here comes the roots. They should be stacked up more tightly than this. That's actually pretty good. They did okay there. And you pop Liquid Magma Totem to get extra flame shocks. And then you're doing extra meatballs. If you get an Ascendance proc, it's going to go to them. They die way too fast because it's LFR. But if you were on Heroic or Mythic, they would last a lot longer, and you would be able to do big, big damage. Ele Shaman, I think, would be great on this fight because the amount of sort of priority damage that you could have on the spears is huge. This time I do have Primordial Wave, but I do not have my Liquid Magma Totem because I'm not syncing this up correctly because I'm an idiot, so that's fine. We get the first intermission. Again, my rotation again, there's an Ascendance proc. If you get an Ascendance proc, press Lava Burst. That's the rule. I'm going to keep saying it until it stops being cool. There, I'm going to cast Primordial Wave right now. Now I'm trying to cool down Primordial Wave until the next set of roots come out. So let's see if I can do that. Oh, yeah, I was trying to get the raid frames back. I messed it up. Anyway, Lava Burst, Lava Burst. Primordial Wave's coming back. We're getting it back. Every time we press Lava Burst, we're getting it back. This is perfect timing, basically. Here comes the spears. 5 seconds on Primordial Wave. And I have Liquid Magma Totem. So we go Liquid Magma Totem right here into Primordial Wave. And then we blast. And if you had more health on these roots, they would last a lot longer. And you would get a lot more damage up. But that's the idea. Okay, again, another kind of AoE fight. Those are the 3 AoE fights out of the way. So let's move on to like Smolderon. I'll show you the damage by the end here. How's our damage? We were climbing to the top. Not bad. Could have been better. You can see where I totally messed up on this fight. This is where you can make them. Don't make the mistake I did, right? Hold your Liquid Magma Totem. Try to have Primordial Wave ready. It'll do a lot of extra damage for you, okay? There's the damage overall. Lots of Lava Burst, lots of Ele Blast, lots of Frost Shock. Okay, that's what your damage is going to look like overall. Okay? Let's move forward to Smoldy, I think we did next. I'm going to show you what this fight looks like. The tank just ended up starting, and I wasn't ready to record, but it doesn't matter. You're going to pop Lust. On the higher difficulties, you do not pop Lust on pull, so don't worry about that, but we pop it here. Primordial Wave, this is pure single target. Let me just, for 1 second, I didn't get to show you because the guy just started the fight. This is what the tree would look like. Pure single target. You've got Ice Fury, Electrified Shocks, Mountains Will Fall, Primordial Surge, the extra point Elemental Overload that used to go to Liquid Magma Totem goes over here now. This is what it looks like, okay? That's what the tree looks like. Now, let's see what the fight looks like. Oh my god. There's no mechanics on LFR. It's pretty insane. Like, there's the Healing Absorber. That's it. Remember, you're just trying to press Lava Burst as much as possible. One thing I want to start talking about in this video near the end here is mobility. Fights like Smolderon and fights like Nymue, which I'm going to show you in a minute, demand mobility. You need to maximize the amount of damage that you can do by being incredibly mobile. That means using Spirit Walker's Grace when you really need to. That means using your free globals that you get whenever you get a Lava Surge proc, okay? Primordial Wave is an instant cast global that you can move on. Every Lava Surge proc gives you a free instant Lava Surge. You can move on that global, okay? You can use Nature's Swiftness to get an instant cast Elemental Blast, and you can move on that global. This is really important to understand on this fight and Nymue and Farok. The fights that are really important, the fights that matter, this is where you need to be using your move. So right here, I have to move. I've got my instant Frost Shocks. I do have Spirit Walker's Grace as well, but I'm not using it. I'm just Frost Shocking for now so I can get into a better position. I have to pick up my orbs. Here's where I use Spirit Walker's Grace. During the intermission, you should use Spirit Walker's Grace because that's when you get double damage because of these orbs that you pick up. So use Spirit Walker's Grace and then keep casting while moving while also dodging the World in Flames. I can cast while moving in this phase. That's exactly what you want to be doing, okay? Really, really important. In LFR, it doesn't matter because the waves are like a weird pattern. In Heroic and Mythic, it really, really matters. So I would save every Spirit Walker's Grace for the intermission. Super important. But on the rest of the fight, as you can see, our damage is pretty good here. You need to be using every movement global that you can. 4 instant Frost Shocks when you cast Ice Fury, Primordial Wave, every Lava Surge proc, and then Nature's Swiftness plus Ele Blast. Those are all your movement globals that you can use without you even having to use Spirit Walker's Grace. Okay, because again, you're using that on intermission. So that's how this fight goes. You can see by the next intermission, I have Spirit Walker's Grace back again. It's up right now. 8 seconds on it. Here's the intermission, and we have Spirit Walker's Grace back again. Okay, very, very important to have that. So now I'm going to pop it again, and then I get my orbs, and then I do as much damage as I can. And here comes like an Ice Fury, Elemental Blast, Primordial Wave. This is perfect. You do Primordial Wave into Lava Burst, Lava Burst, Lava Burst, and our damage is just going to spike. And again, if this was a more difficulty, you would be able to move while casting during the really important rings that matter. And it really just allows you to keep doing damage. I cannot stress enough, if you have to move and you can't cast anything while moving, your damage just goes in the toilet, boys. It goes right into the toilet. It's terrible, okay? Let's look at the last one, which is Nymue. That's also going to demand a lot of movement globals, as I've been talking about. Very, very important. This one is more so to collect the plants. So I'm doing damage right now, and then the plants are out, and I'm going to have to start moving to step on these plants as a ranged player, and also to dodge the big beams of light that start coming out. So you're going to see those are going to start coming out right now, and I'm going to have to move while casting very soon. Here comes those beams. They're falling down right now. Our damage is okay here. Could definitely be better, but we're working the best we can. Here comes the beams. There's one coming right towards me, so I'm getting this plant. Here comes this beam. I can either use Spirit Walker's Grace, or I just cast Ice Fury, so I can use my movement globals with Frost Shock and keep doing damage while moving away from the beams. This is what I'm trying to talk about. Mobility is king for casters. If you can cast while moving, your damage will be incredible. If you have to stop casting to move, it is so detrimental to your damage. Like, melee characters can just keep moving and casting, right? So they don't care. For range casters, it is such an important concept to understand, and it will help you dramatically in your raid fight. On this one, I get to move, and I cast Primordial Wave while moving, and then I have to do one thing, and then, you know, we're back to the rest of the fight. So that's it for all the fights there. This is, what do we do here in terms of damage? 156 by the end. 150 by the end, 155. There's another good movement global here. Look, I'm collecting a flower here. I have to dodge. I have 4 Frost Shocks ready to go, 2 Frost Shocks ready to go. It's all good. You can keep doing damage while moving, man. That's what you want to be doing. So 154 by the end. I think I show my damage here. It should be very, very similar. Come on, Zuko. Oh, no, we don't. Never mind, doesn't matter. I have all the fights right here. It was 154. Lava Burst, Ele Blast, Frost Shock. So that's the bulk of what I wanted to talk about. When you're in raid as an Ele Shaman, your builds are going to change. They're going to change, so I would highly recommend go to the Subcreation site, click in all the things you need to, click on raid, on Ele Shaman, and then go through each boss and figure out what the build is. Gnarlroot, of course, you know, Liquid Magma Totem and Surge of Power. But then if we go to Larodar, it's Liquid Magma Totem plus Aftershock. Oh, that's a slight change. So you need to understand what the changes are going to be and why they are significant. What is so important about these changes? Again, if we think about Gnarlroot and Igira, they have Surge of Power because you need to be spreading those Flame Shocks onto the roots, onto the adds, so that you can get maximum amount of Lava Burst Cleave. That's what you're looking for. On Larodar, the adds need extra damage as well, but most of the damage that you're pumping goes into Larry himself, so you really need those Aftershock procs. So just go to the site, click in all the stuff, and understand that the builds are going to change for you dramatically, and that you're going to need to adjust as you go in order to maximize your damage. Again, the last thing I'm going to say, mobility, mobility, mobility. Please use your mobility or you're going to do 0 damage on these fights, okay? That is a guide to Elemental Shaman in Raid. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know. Any comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you guys, what your experience is in Raid. Any questions you have, just ask them down below. I would love to hear from all of you down there. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.